Now that we have IP services running over Fabric Connect, our next step is to start to work with and provision out virtual service networks. As mentioned in the previous video, a Layer 2 virtual service network is really nothing more than an ISID that is associated with a VLAN. In this exercise, we are going to be taking one of the edge VLANs that are already pre-configured, and we are going to be interconnecting them via an ISID that is already existing within the network. As we also saw in previous videos, ERS 8802 had two ISIDs associated with it, ISID 1000 and ISID 2001. We are going to be establishing a connection on ISID 1000, which will interconnect VLAN 100 end-to-end across the network infrastructure. We will then use show TLV 144 to get some insight into and validate that connectivity. The reason being is we know TLV 144 handles L2 VSNs under sub TLV 3. We will also do a show IP routes, and that will show that 10.10.10.0 is still remotely reachable through ERS 8802. At that point, we will take a secondary step in the exercise and associate an IP address to the local VLAN 100. At that point in time, we will notice that the next time we do a show IP routes, it will show as a local interface, and 10.10.10.0 will be locally reachable. As a secondary exercise, we would usually go in and set up and enable VRRP for router redundancy. That will not be shown as part of this exercise due to the duration and time. So let's go in and take a quick look at ERS 8804 again as far as what it sees today. We do a show ISIS LSDB TLV 144 detail, and we show that we indeed do have ISIDs associated in the network. However, they are owned and provisioned at ERS 8802, and we validate that by the entries below. And we see that there are our two ISIDs, with ISID 1000 selecting BBID 3999 as its primary path. What we are going to do is go in and set up and create VLAN 100, and then associate it with ISID 1000. The first step to doing that is setting up our edge interface to support .1Q encapsulation. The reason being is that this will be reaching out into an edge switch. So we just want to specify .1Q, recognizing the fact that there will be .1Q VIDs handed to us. At that point in time, we now want to go in and enable and create VLAN 100. Now that we have VLAN 100 created, we want to go in and add our members. And that will be port 117. And then we want to go back in because we are using strict VLANs. And we'll remove 117 from 1. So as we can see, this is really just a normal setup of a trunked VLAN at the edge of the network. Nothing unusual at this point. The SPB specific command is as follows, and it's fairly simple. VLAN I-SID. Then the VLAN number, and then the ISID number. And what this command basically says is that we're going to take VLAN 100 and associate it with ISID 1000. That's it. We've just set up a layer 2 VSN. Now, in order to validate that, we're going to do a show ISIS on TLV 144, and we'll see what's changed. At this point in time, we can see that now our node, ERS 8804, does indeed have an ISID established with it. And we can also see that it is using BBID 3999 as its primary. But if we do a show IP route, we see that even though we still see 10.10.10.0, and we know that that is the IP address for VLAN 100, we see that our next hop is still ERS 8802. If we go in to VLAN 100, and now let's just simply specify an IP address. Now what we'll do is we will do a show IP route again. And as we start to look, we start to see that 10.10.10.0 is now reachable. And it's reachable through the next hop of the IP address that we just assigned. And it's now local. Going further, let's do a show ISIS LSDB TLV 135 detail. And let's see what's changed there as well. So as we can see, we go all the way down to the bottom and we have our ERS 8804 entry as before. But now we not only see that we have our IP source address, but we also have subnet 10.10.10.0 that is now available. This demonstrates clearly that we can take the IP subnet of 10.10.10.0 and extend it anywhere within the network simply by the command sequences that we've shown within this quick video demonstration. As a normal step and procedure, we would then go in and set up VRRP at the various routed points of presence for true layer 3 redundancy.